We should get the girls on the pod and do like a couples podcast.
We wouldn't get a word in edgeways.
Yeah, that
We
is
would
true.
not get. I'd just be sat there in the corner, just not speaking. Ellie and Libby would be just waffling the whole podcast,
yabbering away.
But yeah, we should do it one time.
Yeah. Nothing fitness related either, just like girl talk.
It would be interesting though, because like you can kind of see how different relationships work in the industry.
Yeah,
it's quite a common topic, isn't it? We weren't meant to speak about this at all, but
definitely.
Like if you should have a girlfriend who's into bodybuilding or not.
Yeah.
And Libby is definitely not into bodybuilding.
She's into training.
Into the gym, yeah. She's into the gym.
Yeah.
But so Libby's coached by Leo, who's one of my clients and one of my mates as well, because I didn't want to coach her basically.
Yeah.
And I feel so sorry for him.
Feel so sorry for Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah. How come?
Because every check-in must be like, so I went out on Friday night and then had a meal on Saturday morning. Went out for breakfast with one of my friends, and then I had lunch. I had lunch out, and then I went to dinner out as well. And Leah was like, "What?" I said to Leah the other day that the self-prescribed refeeds are working really well.
Yeah.
Because Libby's got metabolism as well. Not metabolism, but she's got a response to food.
Yeah.
On where she'll eat more food and she'll just literally move around more.
Right.
She's got such a responsive.
I'm like that though. I'm
to a certain
like
extent,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's quite rare to see it in a female.
Yeah.
Where they can literally just eat what they want. Because she's still losing weight and she's literally just not on plan at all at the weekend. And she's in a reverse as well, where you're like supposed to be nailing it as much as possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, fair play to her. She's lost 8 kilos.
Mad. Yeah, that's a shift.
Yeah.
Thing is, as well though, like, I don't think. The thing is with lifestyle clients is they can get away with stuff like that and still make decent progress. I think.
Oh yeah.
Like we said last time, it's more just about like managing those social occasions as best as you can.
She doesn't.
She doesn't.
No.
Oh, right. Okay. You could have lied, mate. She doesn't even manage them.
Exposing her.
Yeah. Well, hey, look. As long as she's making progress.
Yeah, she's making tons of progress, to be fair.
That's a good point. Every client is individual. Like,
yeah,
some won't be able to get away with that and make progress, but some will. And if they still make progress, then that's that really.
And it depends on what you're trying to get out of the process as well. Like for her,
yeah,
it's mainly just about being in like a really good routine and keeping consistent with that routine.
Yeah.
And she says that she does coaching so she can live her life and not worry about it. And still making progress.
Yeah,
I think not necessarily trying to make the absolute amount of progress possible.
Yeah, that's good as well. I think a lot of the time coaching can take the guesswork out of like the gym and training, because I think a lot of people get very overwhelmed with like the choice, like all the different choices that they can make with nutrition and training and recovery. Well, not that there's many choices you can make with recovery.
Sleep or don't sleep.
Yeah. Mainly training, to be honest. Like it takes out the guesswork almost, and it takes out the almost like decision fatigue with it.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people do get very overwhelmed with that when they first walk into a gym and they kind of don't know what to do. It's almost like the fear of maybe like being judged because they don't want to look like an idiot, or just having no clue of where to start or what to do. So yeah, definitely coaches provide a lot of relief in like anxiety with that sort of thing, I reckon.
That's something we come to learn as well with lifestyle clients, is you've got to let them make the process they want it to be.
Yeah.
I think in the past, when we first got started, we were like, okay, we want our lifestyle clients to act like us.
Yeah.
And realistically, it's never going to happen.
No, it isn't. And it almost takes away from their ability to progress, because that's like, if you think about it, the reason that we eat the way that we do, we train the way that we do, you know, the way that we adhere the way that we do, is because we enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's because we love the element of the process and like maximising and getting everything out of physique development. That's a very small like segment of people that actually like truly enjoy that. So yeah. I think understanding that whatever you enjoy as a client, like that's what you've got to lean towards, you know. And yeah, you're right. Like it was pretty naive of us to assume that everyone else would kind of gravitate towards that level of adherence.
Yeah, it is very niche.
Yeah, it is really niche. You do get people that want to do it, but again, it's not it's not a massive group of people, definitely not. I think some people as well like come to you looking at the progress that you've made and the physique that you have, and then kind of assuming that like just being coached by you, they'll be able to attain that physique, and it's like it's about teaching them the adherence that it takes, and also the time that it takes as well.
I've got a post coming out about this actually in a couple of weeks, but it all just comes down to what your goals are and the level of adherence and effort you've got to put in to reach those goals.
Yeah.
And you've got to be honest with yourself as well. If you're not reaching those goals, it's probably because you're not putting enough effort and work in.
Yeah.
At the same time, you don't need to put that effort and work in if your goals aren't that high.
Yeah.
So it's completely dependent.
That's it. I think it is literally all about managing expectations and having like I think having goals that are relatively difficult to attain, and that's different for everyone else, is important. Like you wanna challenge yourself, but
That mine would be benching 2 plates.
you are.
That mine would be benching 2 plates.
No, you laugh, but like that would take you some time to build up to, and it's like it's not a stupidly lofty goal, but it's something that is going to challenge you. You're going to go through a process. Like I think if you onboard a client and they just like they don't have any aspirations to be anywhere, like I think that might be something that you have to kind of have a conversation with them about. Like,
Yeah, you've got to have some goals in mind and get those laid out right at the start.
Yeah,
it kind of ties in what we're going to speak about today as well, actually.
Yeah.
Because basically, we've got... You don't know?
No, I don't know. You haven't told me.
Yeah, I've kept it a surprise. But basically, we're filming 2 podcasts today. We're going to make them a little bit shorter because I'm away to Tunisia next Friday. So to make sure we can keep one out coming a week, then one coming out a week, then we'll film 2 today. So what I thought we'd do is actually have 2 topics for the podcast. And then we'll do the third and final topic once I'm back. But basically what we're trying to speak a little bit more about on our Instagrams, what Lawrence will be as well when he starts his Instagram up, is basically like our system for guaranteeing success within coaching. And it's nothing special, but this is what I think is like a really good way about going about the process to make sure you get the absolute best results. And it comes down to like 3 things basically. So there's 3 stages of every single process. The first one's priming, where you're literally just setting the foundations for success moving forward. Second one is building the physique you're looking for, so whether that be a gaining phase, a dieting phase, whatever it is, a prep, whatever you're looking for. And then the last one, sustaining that progress and continuing that cycle of setting yourself up for more success down the line. So what I thought we could do in this podcast is speak about that priming phase, because I think it probably is the most important part of the coaching process.
Sure.
To make sure you can guarantee long-term success.
Sure.
And it's something I've been doing since the very start, I think. I think you had a priming phase. You were my first client, basically. So
I'm not sure we called it that, but
it was a mini diet which acted as a priming phase.
Yeah, definitely. I think I was very. I wasn't used to being coached by someone the way that you coach people. So I think that first 6 weeks was. I dieted before, but it was more about kind of getting used to sending you over form feedback, getting used to tracking my variables a bit more meticulously and checking in as well with you. Like I'd never kind of gone through that process as extensively as I had with you. So yeah, I think that first 6 weeks was a lot about kind of getting used to that and getting in the habit of doing that. But yeah, no.
Yeah, the priming phase is just about settling into the process.
Yeah.
And laying the foundations for you to then succeed in the future, because clients can become quite overwhelmed if you go straight into a gaining phase or straight into a dieting phase and they're not nailing things from the start.
Yeah, and they don't even know like what form feedback is or
exactly.
How to track metrics in the sheets.
I think quite a lot of people do have like a perfectionist attitude where if they don't get things spot on from day one, they then struggle to keep it going over the long term.
Sure.
And the priming phase kind of allows that trial and error where you get things wrong.
Yeah.
You fix things, you work out how the process is going to fit for you moving forward.
Yeah.
You make adjustments. And then once you're ready to go into one of those improvement phases, you can then drop into it and actually nail things. Yeah,
100%. I think it's good to also have like so what I've done with one of my clients I've recently onboarded, Cal, I've done the priming phase with him and then I've hopped on a call with him straight after and I've kind of gone through like the pros and the cons with him. Like, okay, like this has worked well, this hasn't worked so well, and it kind of sets up like almost like future programming and future
Yeah.
considerations, because you've seen like what works and what doesn't work within that first week. To be honest, like Cal's priming phase, like I didn't even intend to put him in a deficit, and he already lost like 5 kilos.
That
So
often happens. Like you
yeah,
try and put their food around about a maintenance,
yeah,
and they'll pull down body weight anyway, just from a
yeah,
better routine,
yeah.
actually training properly,
He
doing
smashed it.
cardio, etc. So
Yeah, yeah, because people don't like when people aren't like necessarily they haven't been in like properly into the gym before, and you get them training well, and you get them on a good meal plan, and you get them starting to track recovery variables. That you'd be surprised at the amount of progress that they can make just in that short 4 to 6 week stint of adhering like properly, if that makes sense.
yeah, so the vast majority of the time I just put them at maintenance,
Yeah.
and then likely it isn't at maintenance because the weight will come down anyway. I often have to push food higher in that phase as well.
That's what I did.
Just to
Yeah.
get them eating more.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think a lot of people, when they're trying to lose body fat, I think they underestimate how much food they can eat, but the type of food that they can eat as well. Because I think you can really feel like you're eating more food if the food is more voluminous and it's from like nutritional
Yeah,
like
definitely.
sources as well. And obviously like higher protein diets as well are way more satiating. You burn more calories as well through a higher protein diet just because of the thermic effect of that macronutrient. Well, not the thermic effect, as in like you just burn more calories when you
That is right.
digest
That's
it.
what it's called.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was.
Have more confidence in
Yeah,
yourself, man.
yeah. Sorry, my bad. I thought you looked at me really funny then when
No?
I said that. No, okay, I'm doubting myself. But yeah, no, same thing really. Yeah, yeah. No, it's interesting, isn't it? Like how some clients still make a good amount of progress off the back of those priming phases, even though the purpose of the phase is more just kind of easing them into the process, not just like slapping them straight into a diet phase. Or you also, I think another important thing is, like, as a coach, we're not magicians. We don't really understand like how your body works. So
Or psychologically, how they work.
exactly. So it's like that phase is not just for the client, but it's for us as well to kind of figure out, okay, how do they respond to X amount of food, training style, like you mentioned as well, psychologically, how do they respond to, what I'm actually like verbally saying to them as well. Like it's a good it's a good way of gauging how to, um, manage it moving forward, I guess.
You also learn about the coaching style you need to get the best out of them.
Yeah.
Because some people will just need like you to be strict with them, be honest with them, give them a kick up the arse sometimes,
Yeah.
and literally just get them to be in order.
Yeah.
And other people need that support, more
Yeah.
calming
Definitely.
attitude towards the process.
That's another thing that I've really had to kind of learn and understand is like not, and Ellie has really helped me with this as well. It's like not everyone responds mentally to how you would respond to things.
Yeah.
So for me, example, like I respond really well to, like you said, like the kind of kick up your ass kind of coaching style, like mate, get your shit together,
Sort yourself out.
sort yourself out, like being a bit brutal with it almost, like. But I think,
Ellie's a good example for someone that wouldn't work for.
yeah, exactly. Like
Imagine if I sent a check-in to Ellie saying, sort your shit out, Ellie.
like, do not miss Ellie.
Yeah.
You're missing. Yeah, no, 100%. Like Ellie is one of those people that needs to have a bit more emotional support and a bit more emotional intelligence. And I think it's weird because like even during training, when I've like there's been times where I've tried to push her a bit more and be a bit more black and white with her, and it doesn't work. Like, and it works with me.
Yeah.
Because I get really fired up with stuff like that. Like if I'm harsh with myself as well, like that's when I start to get like the most out of my training. But with Ellie, for example, like she needs a lot of like almost like emotional nurturing and like
definitely.
support, which and that then like she finds that she trains the best when I'm almost like I'm there for her instead
Yeah.
of like like just telling her to like do
One
something.
more rep, come on,
Yeah,
Ellie.
come on, we'll squeeze it out.
That's
One
third
more.
place. That's second place. Lawrence, I'm not even going to be in.
Brilliant.
It
Yeah,
does show you
that's
though, like
funny.
how like kind of different coaching is to what you think it is
Yeah,
initially.
yeah.
Because it's so much more than just how much you know. It's about how you can actually deal with people and get the most out of people.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, that's it. Like I was saying, last week, it's like realistically with a training program and nutrition, like all coaches are pretty much selling the same thing. Like if they're like
Good.
good, yeah, like they should. You should have a very good understanding of like training, nutrition, and recovery. But a lot of it is about almost understanding people, like
Yeah.
how you coach different people, and not just treating everyone the same, because then that is literally just like cookie cutter coaching
Yeah,
basically.
definitely.
Like yeah, no, it's an interesting phase definitely.
It's a good topic to speak about. I
Yeah,
think the main thing in that first month, 6 weeks, whatever it is for the priming phase, I speak about it so much, but it literally just is getting your routine nailed down.
yeah,
Like my clients must hear me talk about it all the time in their
yeah.
check-ins, but people don't realise how massively important it is. If you haven't got a routine in place, you're not going to get the task done you need to get done.
No,
Especially with how busy people are nowadays.
yeah,
And the people we coach as well, the vast majority of them are working at least 9 till 5,
yeah.
if not more, having
Hun-
to do the training, meal prep, sleep, etc. on top of that, cardio steps.
having to do their sleep.
Well, yeah, people don't do their sleep.
Yeah, yeah, that is
I've
true.
not put it the right way, but people don't do their sleep.
Yeah, they don't do their sleep. Yeah,
People be
no.
getting 5 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right. It is so important. Like, it literally just comes down to like planning and routine. Like, if you haven't planned out when you're going to prep your meals, you've missed on like the nutritional side of
Yeah.
things. Well, not necessarily, but as
You
in,
make it a lot harder for yourself.
yeah, definitely. Like, the process becomes so much easier if you can like plan ahead with that sort of thing. Like you said, if you don't have a certain time where you're winding down for bed, you're relaxing, you're switching everything off, you're intentionally like winding down for bed, like that could potentially be a hindrance to sleep. And then that it's almost like a domino effect.
Yeah,
Like when
definitely.
you when you when you almost miss the mark with like say for example, I don't know, you prep me for example, I prep all my food for the next day straight after I get home from work at like 7:30 ish, and then when I'm done with that I wind down for bed around like 8:15, half
Yeah.
eight. If I push that back an hour, so I did, I don't know, got home, sat on the sofa for a bit, watched
Scrolling
TV,
TikTok.
scrolling Instagram, and then I decided to prep food at like I don't know 8:30. By the time I'm done, it's 9:30. I'm meant to be in bed by like 9:15. So it's like I've then pushed my bedtime back. Then I'm waking up later. It's so important to nail down 100%.
And people will think it's like too rigid or too structured, but being more structured gives you more free time.
Yeah,
It's really that simple.
yeah,
Because if you're not like that and you're not structured enough,
yeah,
you don't get the things done you need to get done.
yeah,
That causes more stress. You're then doing that in your free time.
yeah,
So, and you would really, when you have to get your routine laid out, you realise how much time there's in a day.
yeah.
Like you can do a lot more than you think
100%.
in a
Yeah.
week. So,
For me, I definitely realised that. Like, I was spending a lot of time kind of like doing a task and then going on my phone and then doing a task and then going on my phone. And it's like
yeah.
if you're a lot more productive and you just get things done, like say for example you do like a morning work block like in the morning.
Really?
In the morning work block in the
crazy.
morning. Yeah. That's
Revolutionary.
insane. And you wake up a bit earlier and you get everything done. By the time you've done everything, it's like, oh, it's 10 o'clock. Like
Yeah.
I've still got the whole day. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, no, it's yeah. People wouldn't think initially that routine is like a big part of physique development, because when someone gets into like the gym, they just think, oh, all I need to do is just train, eat a good amount of protein and sleep, and I've done it. But yeah, no,
Which is true. But then how do you make sure you do those things?
yeah,
Through your routine.
yeah, exactly,
It's literally the
100%.
first thing I focus on with a client.
Yeah,
Is we have a routine tracker in our sheets and I get them to fill that out, what your routine looking like currently? Where can we make adjustments? Where can we optimise this to make sure you can get all of these tasks done?
Yeah,
But yeah, I think that's a good end to that first topic.
definitely.
And then we've got 2 questions to answer. Both of us forgot to put a question box up because we are awful podcast hosts.
Horrendous.
But I reckon we'll answer one now and then one on the next pod.
Yeah.
So we had one from the YouTube comments last week. So should we do that one now? And then we got one from Nathan as well.
Sounds good.
From Nathan just mentioned me individually. So yeah, we'll start off with the one from last week's pod. It was quite a good one actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, it will definitely
the
spark
question.
a good conversation.
So, Miami Dolphins fan. Is that a
American football team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like American football?
No, I don't watch American football.
Never watched it before.
No.
It's pretty entertaining. Do you not like? Do you like contact sports? So you like UFC?
Yeah, I watch most American sports. To be fair,
Yeah.
like, I'm a big basketball fan.
American football is very like start-starty.
That's what-
Start. Oh God, I am. This week it's me that is mashed. Like,
I'm good today. I'm feeling alive.
oh God, this is not the day to be mashed as well.
So yeah, I purposely had quite a chill day yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't
Didn't.
have that opportunity. I got in last night at like 8:30 and just
Partying.
yeah. And I got home at 8:30 if I went out. Yeah.
A big day drinking.
Yeah. I was just zonked, absolutely mashed.
But yeah.
Sorry.
Miami Dolphins fan says the daddy thing was hilarious.
It was.
mate.
Where is that flask, by the way?
I don't know actually. I think Libby took it.
Now Libby's got the daddy.
Yeah,
flask.
Libby's now a daddy. Really good podcast, gents. I'd have to read this stuff out to be honest, but I'm just doing it for the ego boost.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Could you guys have a podcast about coaches that give you extremely low calorie diets? I have a friend who is coached by a lady who has given him only 1900 calories this week. Dropped it down from 2700. Isn't that a strange amount to drop?
First of all, I think yes. From what do you say it was? 2,700.
Well, it depends what. If you're going from a gaining phase or a maintenance phase into a diet, that's pretty normal.
Yeah, relatively normal. But then if it's like, it's very context dependent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, say for example, if it's gone from gaining phase to diet, that's a relatively normal amount of food to drop. But say for example, they've been dieting for a few weeks.
And then dropping 800 calories.
Yeah, and then all of a
we're dropping the
sudden,
ball.
yeah, we're digging here. Yeah, I think, if obviously let us know what context it's in. But yeah, it would be a lot of calories to drop if it's just like from a week to week basis, definitely. Go on.
Yeah, it just completely depends on context. And the thing is, with coaching, the decisions you make, you can't really look into someone else's process because so many things go into it.
Yeah.
And everyone is so individual. And you wouldn't realise like how different people are and what they respond to. So, for example, with Leo, his food has to get really low to lose weight. And it's as simple as that. Every single diet we've done, his food has had to get low to pull off body weight consistently.
Yeah.
And if someone else saw that from the outside and they saw what food I was putting him on at the start of a dieting phase, they'd think, what's he doing?
Yeah.
Like, he's going to lose way too much weight, he's going to lose muscle, etc.
Yeah.
But because I've had that experience with him, I've coached him for over 2 years now, I know exactly how his body responds. I know there's no point in keeping food high at the start of a dieting phase because he just simply won't lose weight. He'll adapt to that amount of food and just move less and still get maintenance. Dropping his food low in the first week makes the most sense. Get ahead, make sure we are pulling off weight straight away.
Yeah.
So it is all context dependent.
It's so context dependent. It's so dependent on the person as well, and even like the size of the person. So, for example, like I'm like 6'2". I'm
Chaps.
well, I've got a good amount of muscle. Let's say that, and at the minute I've got a fair amount of body fat. So,
Say that again.
mate, the first you're calling me jacked, now you're calling me fat. No,
So far true. Right now.
yeah, true. But yeah, no, like my food at the minute would, if I was to enter a dieting phase, would be a lot higher than Leo's is because Leo
Gaining phase.
exactly, and Leo. No, as in like, say if I was to diet.
Oh yeah.
Say if I was to diet, my food would be a lot higher than Leo's because of the current composition that I'm in. But also, Leo started at a leaner like body fat than I did as well.
Yeah.
meaning that his food would probably have to be lower at the start anyway. Whereas with me, because I'm very heavy, I could probably lose a lot of weight on a much higher amount of food
Yeah.
because I'm holding a lot more body fat as well.
And that's what coaching is, right?
Yeah,
Like you're making the plan depending on the individual and what's going to work best for them and see the most results for them.
yeah.
It's as simple as that.
I think it's important as well to kind of stop labeling like food as like, oh, that's really really low, and
Yeah.
oh, that's really really like that's so much food. It's like it is literally dependent on how the person responds, and what is required to get the job done for that specific person. You see it in prep all the time where people diet on like they get absolutely inside out peeled on like 3,000 calories, and everyone looks at that person and is like, oh, why can't I diet
Yeah.
on 3,000 calories? And it's like it doesn't matter. Like, just focus on your own journey, your own process, and whatever you need to do to reach your goal. That's what you have to
Yeah.
do.
You've got to do what you've got to do.
Yeah,
It's like for me and you, for example, I think our food got down to like a similar amount.
yeah,
And I was, what, 140 pounds on stage?
Yeah.
You were 180 pounds on stage?
yeah,
And we both got down to around about 1,500, 1,600 calories at one point.
exactly.
Doing a bit of cardio as well.
Yeah. It also depends on how you articulate yourself as well. Like, for example, you manage your prep a lot better than I manage my prep. So my food probably had to get lower than it needed to be because I didn't manage my prep as well as you did, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it also depends on like your adherence levels. Like, say for example, if you don't have a really productive adhering gaining phase, when you come to diet back down, you're probably going to have to dig a little bit harder at the back end.
Yeah.
And it's just about kind of accepting that as well, if
Yeah,
that makes
definitely.
sense. Like, I remember you were saying,
At the
like,
start of this, when we started the podcast, I was dieting on like 1,400 calories.
yeah,
But that's because I'd had an awful off season beforehand,
yeah,
where I probably hadn't built muscle. I'd actually lost muscle because of my legs,
sure,
and therefore I wasn't that active. I wasn't burning that many calories per day,
yeah,
and therefore my food had to be low to lose the weight I wanted to lose. It's
Yeah.
as simple as that. And yeah, like you mentioned earlier, massively important. No food is too low. No food is too high.
yeah,
You've got to do what you've got to do for the situation that you're in.
yeah. If you're not well informed as well and you don't fully understand it, I can understand how it might be a bit frustrating or a bit like overwhelming. But just literally just think, like, just strip it down to the bare basics. What do I need to do to achieve my current goal that I have now? Like, it's not about
Yeah.
what you were eating 2 years ago or 1 year ago. It's not about like the weight that you got to last off season. It's literally about the current, what's my setup now and where do I need to go to reach my goal in the current environment that I have, if that makes sense.
Perfect.
Yeah,
So I reckon that's where we lead this first podcast because I've got a call
spot on.
at 10 with Joji from Japan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he's just completed his first month on prep.
Excellent.
Gonna have a call with him.
How's he doing?
Yeah, really well. He's 4 kilos down, which is exactly what I wanted from the first month. So
Nice.
pretty much
Nice.
perfect. But yeah, we'll finish this podcast now and then we're going to film another episode straight after.
Nice.
So yeah, catch you guys in a bit.